I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sonny Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog.
The greatest boxer of all time. This is the story of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was born on January 17th, 1942. He was born a Christian and was given the name Cassius Clay at birth. He was born in America at a time of severe racial prejudice, and as he was a black man, he experienced this racism firsthand. From birth, Ali was a fighter. When he was 12 years old, he discovered that his bike had been stolen. When he went to the police officer, he said that he wanted to beat up the thief. This police officer's name was Joe Martin, and in addition to being a police officer, Martin also trained young men on how to box. Ali started working with Martin and learned how to spar and soon began his boxing career. In his first amateur bout in 1954, he won the fight by split decision. Ali went on to win the 1956 Golden Gloves tournament for novices in the light heavyweight class. 3 years later, he won the National Golden Gloves Tournament of Champions, as well as the Amateur Athletic Union's national title for light heavyweight division. In 1960, Ali won a spot on the US Olympic boxing team and travelled to Rome, Italy. He was 6'3" and was known for his speed and technique. He would go on to defeat Polish fighter Piotrowski and won the light heavyweight Olympic gold medal against all the odds. However, when he returned to his home in Louisville, he was not allowed into the restaurant just because he was a black man, despite having won a gold medal for America. This showed to Ali the true racism within his nation, and he went on to throw his medal into the Ohio River.
They put me out of that restaurant. I said, this medal ain't worth a damn. I've become so frustrated. Now I wish I still had it because I wouldn't be coming frustrated now. But at the time, I took that medal and said, it ain't worth nothing, I don't care. I took it off my neck and said, it ain't no good, it ain't, throw it in the Ohio River.
In 1964, Clay also challenged Sonny Liston for the heavyweight championship of the world. Liston was seen as one of the most powerful fighters of his era. Clay was an underdog, but in one of the most stunning upsets in sports history, Liston retired to his corner after 6 rounds and Clay became the new champion. This was only 2 days before Clay announced to the world that he accepted the teachings of the Nation of Islam and he would soon change his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali.
Cassius is not my name no more.
You want to keep calling me a white man's name? I'm not white.
Apart from being the greatest boxer of all time, Ali was also a black activist and consistently spoke out against discrimination of black people of America. He was known to be close friends with Malcolm X, who also stood against the discrimination of black people in America. Not only this, but he also stood up against the American war against Vietnam, as he did not want to kill any person due to his religious beliefs. Because of this, the US Department of Justice pursued a legal case against Ali for not going to war. He was found guilty of violating selective service laws and sentenced to 5 years in prison in June 1967, but remained free while appealing his conviction. Just because he did not want to go against his belief and morals, he almost lost everything. They fined him more than $10,000, took away his status, labeled him a traitor, and took 3 years away from his fighting career. Ali's message to black pride and black resistance to white domination was on the cutting edge of the civil rights movement. Having refused induction to the US Army, he stood up for the proposition that unless you have a good reason to kill, war is wrong. Despite having almost been put in jail, Ali remained firm and eventually got back into the ring in 1970, where he defeated Jerry Corey. Ali then went on to become unstoppable and truly reached the heights of his boxing career and fame. He challenged heavyweight champion George Foreman in 1974. George Foreman was in his prime and all the odds were stacked in his favour. Yet again in his career, Ali was the underdog. However, he proved everyone wrong yet again and beat George Foreman via knockout. However, at the rear end of Ali's career, he began to lose, losing his last ever professional match to Berbick in 1981. However, astonishingly, throughout his career, Ali only lost a total of 5 times, 3 of which were in his last 2 years. At the time of Ali's retirement, he lost a total of 5 times out of 61 matches and won 56 times, 37 of which through knockouts. He unfortunately retired from boxing in 1981 at the age of 39. He was soon diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and unfortunately died on the 2nd of June 2016 due to septic shock. Muhammad Ali is remembered today for being the greatest boxer of all time. He revolutionized the sport and stood for what he believed in. And Muhammad Ali's story will never be forgotten.